Oh, it's me. Welcome, ICP fans, to another episode of the Indy SportsCar podcast. Hey, Missy.
Hello, hello.
Jared.
Hello.
And joining us today, we have a special guest. We have Conor Daly joining us today. Welcome back to the show, Conor.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
Conor, I think I was saying it earlier. I don't mind saying it on the air. Anyone on the grid deserves this full ride for. I mean, what should be the full year, but it still will be, going forward. It's you, man, because leading up to 2020, man. We've known you since about 2015, and we've seen your career progress, and so has everybody else. And you're about, I would say, if you asked 8 out of 10 fans who their favorite driver is, they say Conor Daly right away. I mean, how about Jared, right?
Yeah, you're one of the most popular drivers amongst the fans. Just personality and the local link you have, not just to the speedway itself, but the greater Indianapolis, Indy area.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I love what I do. I love, the opportunity to compete. And I think, having that opportunity taken away from me has made me appreciate it even more as we've worked our way back. It was definitely a long time, to be away from the full-time championship. It sucks to watch for sure. But it definitely, going away, when Foyt did let us go, it did give us the opportunity to start this relationship with the U.S. Air Force, which is the only reason why I'm on the grid, today. So, sometimes, everything happens for a reason, and hopefully, now we're in a position now to solidify my future, even more with hopefully whenever we do get on the real grid, later this year.
And I bet it has been a big challenge going from, expecting to be able to be in the car, doing the preseason test at COTA, and then getting all the way down to St. Pete, getting ready to go, and having everything, the rug basically pulled out from underneath you. Talk about how that kind of roller coaster has been this year, because it's been that way for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it's been weird because, yes, we did get to do COTA, but not really. I mean, COTA was snowing. We did essentially a third of a day. We had a couple small technical glitches as well that kept us off the track for a lot of the hours. And then we did Sebring. So we were really just hoping to get to St. Pete to get things actually rolling. Our test at Sebring went really well. We were really happy with that there as a team, and a lot of the simulator development that we've done, does feel quite good. But realistically, I've had so little time in the car so far, so it's a shame to have to wait even more. And now there's no testing at all through the year, so it's basically just going to be race weekend by race weekend. And that is tough because one part of being a full-time driver again with a team that wasn't, that isn't holding anything back is that we were going to test, but now there's no testing. So, it is what it is. It's going to be one of those weird years because of this whole, the pandemic, and it's crazy for everyone, not just us. We can't complain obviously as much as others. But yeah, hopefully once we do get going, we can get back to things, as much normal as we can, and just see how it goes weekend by weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really great what the series has done to make the best out of a bad situation. I mean, never in a million years did I ever think I would be seeing, all of you guys, racing against each other in iRacing on NBC Sports Network. World has definitely been flipped upside down, but I think the popularity of IndyCar and you personally have had no small part in helping that become a reality. for sure. So, I mean, you want to talk a little bit about, the past couple of years? I mean, just kind of like, I mean, because you've been in the series, you've seen how it's been progressing and growing, and I'm like, do you? I guess I'm kind of stating it in a question, but a statement as well. Basically, what's your thoughts on how quickly the sport has gotten to the popularity level that it's gotten to in the year 2020? I didn't think it would get this far, maybe 2022 at best, but do you think it's been faster than you ever thought possible, or just what's your thoughts like about that?
Well, I think there's a lot of cool stuff going on for sure. I mean, when we had Fernando Alonso come over to try out the Indy 500, I think that was the first, one of the first big things that I remember out of the last few years, since the 100th running. I think that was really cool. And then, to have him come back, obviously, and then not make the field. I mean, there's a lot of, there's a huge buzz around the Indy 500. Obviously, the NBC TV deal is something that sticks out to me as well. Exclusively on NBC. I think that's a positive thing moving forward, the amount that they put into the series. And then obviously Roger buying everyone and everything. I think that's really cool as well. But yeah, this is obviously going to be a hiccup. It's definitely going to be something that is going to be a bit of a let's say a camel hump. We're kind of going up, and then now we're going down, and then hopefully we're going up again. We've got a lot of strong teams in this series, but no matter what, everyone's business has been affected by this. The economy. We need money to go racing, and that is definitely hit a bit of a wall right now, no matter who you are and no matter what your business is. So hopefully we can all rebound from that, and hopefully we can get into this season and create some more positive momentum. And obviously we've got the Indy 500 in August, so we've got a few races before then, hopefully, to kind of build, and then hopefully we can get to August and knock it out of the park, and that would be awesome. So there's a lot of great things going on for the series. I get a little bit nervous about this whole pandemic thing. It's such a shame. It's so not well timed, both for me, my own personal career, but for our sport as well. But I think we've got Roger behind the captain's chair, which is really encouraging. And I know he definitely wants to see the sport, go places because he invested in it, and he wants to make money on his investment. So I think that's a good thing.
Missy, your thoughts?
No, I mean, I think it's always a good thing. I mean, Roger buying it he's personally invested in it. So I would think, it's going to do nothing but grow. Again, I know I'm not a huge fan of the virtual racing or whatever you guys call it, video game. I know it's not a video game. iRacing. It's not
a video game. It's a simulator.
Okay. What? All right. Sim. It's a sim. I'm not a huge fan of it. I know I'm just not into it. But I do turn the TV on so it gets ratings and all the TVs in the house. But has it been difficult, Connor, to I guess keep in a mindset that eventually, you guys are going to go racing? I did ask Ollie last week. I mean, Oliver, I got to start calling him Oliver, not Ollie. Last week, like, what are you doing to try and, because I know you guys can't test the actual car per se, and you're just doing sim racing, but is there anything that you're doing specifically to keep, I guess besides going to the gym, doing, all your workouts to keep to keep fit? But
yeah, I mean,
in the car, like, it'll be, I guess,
you do as much as you can do.
Yeah
I mean, there's we physically, staying physically fit is the most important part. I mean, me going up and sitting in my kitchen table chair and driving iRacing cars is not doing anything for me. I mean, yes, it does give you something to do. But for me, it is so far from real life in my own personal opinion that it is nothing more than something to do and something to hopefully keep people entertained. And it is a great game. Like, when it comes to racing games, there is nothing better, I think, on the market right now. And iRacing have been super helpful to us. They've been super helpful to the series. And it's on TV. So it helps us from a business standpoint. And as long as we can go out there, and I'm certainly trying. I mean, I'm definitely trying to get better at it. But, you know, there are people that have wraparound TV screens with motion simulators and full-on seats. And Simon was wearing a suit last weekend, which is wild. So there's a very different level of feel to the car. There's a very different level of, you know, there are sometimes things in iRacing that you can find all of a sudden that give you lap time that don't make sense at all, but it's a video game. And if you can find that, that's great. You know, sometimes I watch Scott McLaughlin. He's very good at it, and he puts a lot of hours into it. But he sometimes drives that's like, well, that's not how you would drive in real life, but it's faster than the simulator. So that, you know, that's part of it. So I can't wait to get back to the real racing. But yes, right now, you know, Ed and I are doing as much physical training as possible. He's got a gym at his house that I have been able to use, thankfully. We train together. And then, yeah, we've been doing iRacing as well. So that it certainly keeps racing in our heads. It keeps our focus on, you know, putting on some entertainment for our fans. And that's all we can do right now.
One thing I've been curious about, because you're relatively new to the iRacing scene, but not the racing on a computer game kind of thing. We're pretty big into Forza back in, I mean, I guess last year. How has that evolution been to go from essentially on the console back to iRacing?
Well, I like Forza because I can play it with a controller. I don't need a steering wheel and pedals. And all the professional gamers actually play with controllers because you can be more precise with steering and stuff like that. But yeah, it's nice to go to iRacing because, you know, in a lot of situations, you know, it does feel like, you know, they're trying to make it like real life. There's tire wear that you got to warm your tires up. You know, there's pit stops, there's fuel burn, etc. And that's kind of cool to think about. You know, we get a couple of our strategists and assistant engineers involved, you know, and it gives them something to do as well. But, you know, I think either way, I truly, you know, I've always stood by it, but I'm much more of a non-racing gamer. I just don't really enjoy it as much as other people do. I've put many hours into racing games. Like Joseph Newgarden and I used to sit in my basement for 14 to 20 hours playing Forza Motorsport together. And that's because it was a competition at all times. You know, I had someone else there. We're always trying to beat each other. But now I have so many friends that play Call of Duty, and it's so much more fun and enjoyable. It's something different. You know, I'm not a warrior, obviously, but I am a race car driver, so I get a lot of that, you know, the racing in real life, and you know, the Call of Duty stuff for me is more entertaining. But you know, we've got to do what we got to do right now.
Do they find they always ask you to drive the getaway car in Call of Duty?
Sometimes, yes, there are jokes made about that.
What exactly Call of Duty are you talking about? Are you talking about the free to download one right now that's cross-platform, or
do you still play?
Yeah, just the most recent one, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Yeah,
around. Yeah.
Not Blackout. Yeah, Warzone right now is pretty hot for sure.
Yeah, I've had my PS4 on. I don't think I've turned it off in 2 weeks. It is pretty good. I gotta admit. I took a Call of Duty break for a little while, but I'm happy that Infinity Ward is back with them.
No, for sure. Yeah. No, it's been good. It's been entertaining. That's for sure. As much as we can do right now.
Definitely. Now, Jared was telling me something, you know, not to get back into the sim thing, but what happened with your pedal with some cardboard or something? And I think it was one of your first sim races. Jared was telling me something about it.
Cardboard box on your pedals collapsing.
Yeah, well, so I don't like the way my pedals are on the floor. I'm obviously sitting in a chair, so I'm pushing down and forward on them instead of sitting in a race seat and just pushing against the pedals against the wall or something like that. So it's, to remain in a comfortable position or a semi-comfortable position, my pedals started sliding and the carpet didn't have enough grip for the pedal box to dig into it. So eventually they started sliding forward. I had to find some sort of box to mount behind it against the wall so it wouldn't move. And then enough pressing of the pedal starts to then collapse the cardboard box because it's not exactly structurally sound. So, it is what it is. I'm making best of the situation right now. And it ends up either way being a kind of a funny story.
You've been able to at least upgrade your equipment, because you see a lot of these other drivers, they post their rigs, and you go from Sebastian Bourdais, who looks like he's in his bedroom next to his bed set up, versus someone like Simon, who's got a little bit more elaborate setup.
Yeah, no, not at all. I don't plan on upgrading. I don't want to spend $1 on this because I want to keep my dollars and not spend them wastefully. So yeah, I don't make the money that maybe some of those guys do. So yeah, I don't plan on upgrading. I don't need to upgrade. I can get on the track and I can do the job. Do I win anything by winning an E-race? Absolutely not. Nothing at all. And I get more exposure through my Twitch anyway than if I might have, led a lap or two in that race. So, it is what it is. Trying to obviously do the best I can, no matter what. I definitely don't want to, make it seem like we're not trying, because I certainly am. Like, I get on there, I'm sweating. I got my pits are sweating, my face is sweating, heart rate's up, trying to do something. But there's only so much you can do with a setup like that.
And I just have to say, your main sponsor, Air Force. I can't think of a better driver to really be the spokesperson for it, to be honest with you. You and Air Force are just,
I appreciate that.
Match made in heaven, man.
I still think
really.
You should get that Space Force endorsement.
Space Force, I know, yeah. It's a possibility. We've definitely looked at co-branding and co-marketing, and we'll see. It's certainly not off the table.
Have the Air Force taken you in a ride in a 2-seater fighter jet yet?
Yeah, so in 2 years ago, the first year of the program, I went for a ride in the Thunderbirds, and then last year we were with the Viper demo team. So two different fighter jet rides, which is definitely some of the coolest stuff I've ever done, without a doubt.
Oh man, F-16, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, please, story time, F-16, because it's just my all-time favorite fighter jet. So I'm highly jealous, sir. Highly jealous. So I mean, what was it like? I mean, you're so used to lateral G's. So how was the all-around G's? Pretty much.
It was very different for sure. We obviously were wearing G suits, fully kitted out, and yeah, it was interesting. I mean, one of the coolest things, without a doubt, that I've ever done. The sheer force, up, down, side to side, upside, any way, shape, or form, was incredible, and definitely something I'll never forget. And definitely something that if you get a chance to do, you got to do it for sure. So it was something I thoroughly, and even Townsend Bell got to ride in a jet with sort of alongside of me last year for an NBC piece, and he was enjoying it as well. But his actually had a technical malfunction on his, so he got the full experience of doing an emergency landing and everything. So. It's definitely an amazing experience to just see men and women of the U.S. Air Force at their work. They do an incredible job. The detail, the level of commitment to what they are doing is astounding.
Just kind of talk more about how I mean, you've had the sponsorship with the Air Force for a few years now, but how did all that come together? And did you ever foresee that it would take you to this level, to kind of the resurrection of your career?
Well, honestly, Foyt, dropped me really late into the, into the off season of 27, end of 2017 into 2018. And part of that reason was because I was doing the Amazing Race, so I was gone for a full month right after the season. And while I was gone, they had already worked out a deal with Waste, and there was $3-ish million in place that I didn't have. And obviously, that was chosen over me, which is, understandable. It's a business, and yeah. So after that, I didn't really know what to do or what was going to happen. But yeah, Tom Burns gave me a call and started chatting with him, and obviously very interesting guy. And he had his niece was actually the one who was helping run the marketing department for the Air Force through her agency. So they expressed interest in doing the Indy 500. She had mentioned to me, like, hey, we want to try this out. This is something that, could be really beneficial for us. And I said, well, perfect. I know a driver that, could drive for you, obviously being me. So yeah, it was a deal that, started very small, small enough to where I had to take out a, 6-figure loan myself to finish off the budget just so we could make it to the track. And obviously it was worth it, because this is year 3. They obviously stepped up their investment to take us to Andretti the next year, which went really well. And obviously stepped it up yet again 3 years in a row to take us to, Ed Carpenter Racing. So, it's something that I really, really hope continues. They want to see me run a full season in an Air Force car every race. Obviously we don't have that at the moment, but, hopefully step by step, we can continue giving them, the positive return on their investment that they are getting. And we can just keep this program rolling. But this is without a doubt the longest tenured sponsor that I've had in my career. And it's an honor to represent for them.
Well, one of the things I've noticed about the Air Force is that they actually have activation at the track, where they have like the Air Force, like the demo set up where fans can come around and try out like what it's like to go through, and you participate in their programs and stuff. And that's one of the things that kind of sets them apart from other sponsors on the series, who they just cut the check, show up on the car. But to see the Air Force there at the track, as someone who travels all over and sees a lot of these races, to see them at so many races really shows the level of dedication that they have to the series and the sport itself.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge part of the program, honestly. The activation is why they do it. The fan interaction, the people that do go over there, is exactly why they have come back, is because they see the people that do go to the activations. And if you ever see it, please go through it, because every person counts that goes through there. So that's really, really cool. And it's their message. Their message is recruiting. So they have to talk to people. It has to be a real conversation, and it has to be a demonstration with their incredible simulation programs and the games and the rides that you can experience with them. That's what they want to show, is that, hey, the Air Force is an incredible group of people and an incredible organization. And why not, check it out? So that's why they do it, is to engage people, real life human beings, and particularly, younger people as well. And I know kids certainly love, all the stuff that they have there, because it's actually really impressive, some of the different setups that they have. So you'll see them at a few different races. I don't know, honestly, how this season is gonna turn out, and obviously I'm not sure what plans change moving forward when it comes to event activations. But if it eventually does get back to normal, we will have Air Force activations at certain races, and hopefully, we can see everyone there.
It'll definitely get back to normal. I mean, this won't last forever. I mean, I know it feels like it because it has feel like it's last forever. To be honest with you, I mean, I think everybody's feeling a little bit antsy, and if you're not going to stir crazy by now, you're on the brink of it, I'm sure. Whoever out there, but excuse me. So I mean, you're teammates with Renus VK over there at Ed Carpenter this year. We've had the pleasure with watching Renus climb the ranks up with Oliver as well. What's your thoughts on your teammate Renus?
Yeah, he's a good kid. I mean, he's really talented for sure. He's done a lot of days in the car already, so I've seen a lot of his data, and we've spent time at the simulator together. So it's cool to see him, get to attack his rookie season, alongside of me and work with this team. But it's tough to wait. Trust me. As when I was a rookie, there was nothing more than I wanted than to just get the season going, and the poor guy to have that, that opportunity taken away from him, is tough. So I look forward to getting back to the track, with him because, I know he's excited and he's, full of positive energy. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I think he's super aggressive, super fast, but there's a lot to learn. So, one step at a time for sure.
Have you had the pleasure of meeting his father yet?
Yeah, his family's been at every test and every event that we've done so far. So definitely got to chat with them, and they're really nice people.
I was saying because his father's a pretty intense guy.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
He's a really good guy, though. I mean, but wow, I always like to talk to him after a race. Like, so what'd you think? Because I knew something gold was going to come out of it. Yeah, so that's what I was asking.
For sure.
So
good people though.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, what's your I mean, it's hard to talk about future because nothing's happened yet. So, but it's just hard. It's just really hard to talk about sim racing and all that good stuff, especially when it's you guys know it's just such a far cry. But it is good to hear you say that, like, as far as sim racing goes, it's as close as you can get. But because it was funny, Missy, what did Rob say when he was talking to a few of the guys from USF 2000? I think it was last year at Toronto, and they kept on hitting the same section of the wall, and he asked them why. What did they say? Do you remember this?
I don't remember.
Yeah. They all said that they were able to take that turn flat out, that final corner at Toronto, take it flat out on the sim, and they just assumed that it translated over so they could take it flat out in real life, and they just all kept putting it on the wall.
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you're only in a real car. Why not, put every ounce of your iRacing experience into it and just scratch your head. I don't know why I crashed the car 3 times already. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like the one thing I worry about is, will everyone hate each other by the time we're done with this? Because at the moment, everyone's just shouting at each other on the internet about internet racing, and I start to do things that I don't want to do in this car because you just have to make it go fast. And it is weird. So I really don't think it'll program any bad habits, but every day I'm thankful that we're getting closer to hopefully going back to real racing.
Yeah. Like one day behind us is one more day closer to race day, and I just can't wait. Now, what do you think, Connor? Doubleheader road course IMS. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's awesome. The July 4th weekend for sure is going to be really exciting. It's a bit of a shame though, because I don't think I'll be able to do the Xfinity race. I mean, I didn't have a ride anyway, but I just there's no way any of our full-time IndyCar drivers will do the Xfinity race as well. The IndyCar itself is so physically tough to drive already. To take away from that event by doing the Xfinity race, I just think would be tough. So I can't see anyone doing it. If someone does it, awesome. That means that they've got someone to fund it, which is great. I mean, it costs no less than $100,000 to do that with an Xfinity team, a good team. So we'll see. But maybe I'll be able to do the dirt race on the Thursday of that week. Who knows? I'd like to try and do that, but it's all up to really Ed and the team. But either way, I think running with NASCAR is going to be awesome. I think for the sport in general, I hope everyone can get along, because it will truly be something special and something to be remembered in the future.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What about the race in October? Do you foresee any issues with maybe it getting cold or the weather? I mean, we've had Indy Grand Prix in the spring that were kind of cold and rainy. So do you think there's going to be a pretty good showing of support?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, racing in October, that'll be awesome. I think our local race fans for sure crave racing all the time. So, I think it'll be great. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It's something new, obviously. It's something, there will also be some sports car stuff that weekend as well, which will be cool. So I think everything about it is certainly the best job that we can do with the situation that we are in. So I'm excited about it. I love the Grand Prix of Indy circuit. I've always gone well there. So I have no complaints about doing multiple races there. So we'll see how it goes.
Now, when it comes to some of the double headers that have been added to the schedule, like Laguna Seca and Iowa, I know you're slated to only do the road course races. Have you had any exploration into the possibility of doing some of these other ovals, like maybe one of the double headers at Iowa?
Well, as far as I know, I'm still doing the ovals for Carlin, so I hope that I'll be there. But yeah, I don't like Iowa at all, so it's a shame that one's a double header. But coming back with Carlin will be nice because it'll be the first time I've ever done 2 consecutive years with the same team at the same track. So that'll be really cool to be at least able to work on some of the stuff that we started developing last year. So yeah, it is what it is. And if we can make some improvements at Iowa and if the car is good at Iowa, then I'll enjoy it a lot more. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Trevor and Stephanie at Carlin are really good people. They're, it'd be nice to see you still be able to stick around with them doing the ovals this year. And hopefully, Ed, your new boss, Ed Carpenter, doesn't run you off the track.
Yeah, we'll have to see. He was nice enough to let me do that, which is really cool. He knows I want to be a full-time driver and I want to compete every weekend. So yeah, it's a cool little way to work together.
Yeah, everybody's just chomping at the bit just to. How did you feel about Belle Isle being taken off of the schedule? What are your thoughts of Belle Isle?
Well, that's historically one of my best races. I led my first laps in IndyCar there. I got my first IndyCar podium there. I've always gone really well there. So I hate that is not on the schedule. But again, there's you can be angry about it all you want, but it's not coming back. So. You just got to focus on what races you do have, and go from there. Really.
Yeah, I was just asking because, the one thing I can always say about you from talking about or from talking to you, for so many years is you're one of the most honest, drivers out there. You really never go the PC route or anything. So that's why I just wanted to ask because me personally, I've obviously never driven on Belle Isle, so I try to get as much input I can from some drivers. And some drivers, they're just like, well, I'm not shedding a tear for it. And other drivers like, I can't wait for Iowa. And you're the exact opposite. But you are right. Some of your best, so some of your best races have been at Belle Isle. That is for sure. So, but Toronto though. Do you think Toronto is going to be like because I'm just already I mean they didn't cancel Toronto, like I didn't miss that, right? I'm not sounding like an idiot at the moment, am I?
No, it's still on schedule. Yeah, it's still going.
Because every day it changes it, and I'm just like, well, I just got home from work. Did it change? So, but
yeah.
And it's like, and like every year Toronto is different, so like, there's always something different about Toronto, whether it's like turn 14 or it's just always something. So, what like how do you approach Toronto? The last, few years that you have, drove at it. How do you approach Toronto as far as the differences in it from year to year? Do you have like a certain way that you go about? I mean, road courses in general. Is there any sort of way that you go about approaching like a race weekend? Is there a certain way that you approach it when it's like there's like a lot of unknowns?
Well, I mean, Toronto is one of the races that I've done the most in IndyCar. I think other than the Indy 500, I've done the most races at Toronto. Oddly enough, so I do like that track a lot. I love the event. They put on such a great event there. The city loves it. The people are so nice. Obviously, Canadians are supposed to be nice, apparently, and they are. So that's always cool to experience. And yeah, I mean, for us, I can't necessarily say now how we're going to be prepared for it because I have yet to do a race with this team yet. But I think they're going to be as prepared as they possibly can be. And I'm excited to hit the street courses with those guys. I think we were really looking forward to, St. Pete. I think we've done a lot of simulator development at St. Pete and it felt really good. And sort of, if you go well at Sebring, you usually go well at St. Pete, and our car was quite strong at Sebring as well. So there's a lot of positives about street courses, but, we'll just have to see how we go when we do get there. And again, all you can do right now is speculate. And, we've done so little time in the car. I'd love to be able to say that I have a great feel for it, but I don't yet. I mean, I still, for me, I'm a driver that takes time to get into things and to get into relationships and to get into, team, how the cars work and develop and engineers work with, the setup equipment that we've got available. So yeah, I usually try to, I'm trying to get into things quicker, than normal, but it takes time. So hopefully once we get rolling, when we get to Toronto, we'll be rolling with the head of steam.
Well, it seems like we've kept you a little bit long. I don't know. Missy, do you have any other questions for Conor before we let him go?
No, I think we covered a lot.
I mean, we really did, but Conor, is there anything that you would like to touch on yourself? I mean, we're always asking the questions, and you're always, spitting the answers out. I mean, is there anything you'd like to talk about that you've been wanting to kind of talk about as far as the series, or just how things have been going on, or do you have any? I mean, like anything at all. The floor is yours, sir. Like anything at all.
Not really. I think, if everyone can just keep tuning in, keep tuning into the NBC broadcast. I mean, we definitely need the ratings and the support and the people to check it out and, check out the my Twitch stream for the races and for what we're doing. And just stay safe. I mean, stay indoors, stay what do what you can to limit interacting with other humans so we can all get back to the racetrack here sooner rather than later. And yeah, I mean, once we do get back going, we're still gonna, we're gonna need as much fan support as possible, as much, as many people as possible to have their TVs on and watching our races and seeing the great product that we've got. So yeah, it's a team effort, and we all have a role to play for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And if there is if there's the two strongest attributes that IndyCar has that will pretty much work in its favor, and as long as that stays the status quo, you guys have no problems to worry about. Is number one, the personalities in the series. You include, and I can just name off so many names, but you guys are some of the greatest sportsmen out there, and just some of the greatest guys out there you could possibly talk to, that are professional athletes. Number one, and number two, just the on track product and the just exciting racing week in and week out. It's almost like you can count on one hand the amount of bad races you've had in the last 5 years. So that's just speaks for itself. And I think, as long as everybody's hangs in there, and that I don't see that changing either. So very, very well said.
I appreciate it. Yeah, well, I want to do a lot this year. I have a lot of goals for this year. And feel really good about this situation. So I can only dream about it for so many more nights. So I hope that we can get through this and get back to action here really soon.
Well, keep growing that quarantine beard. Somebody's got to take down willpower, because it is just creepy. It is. I feel so bad for Liz. It's not good.
Well, have you seen Simon? I mean, Simon looks like a whole different person.
Yeah. At least one thing we know is that they work for Penske, and by the time that shop opens, they will all be clean shaven.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
You're not allowed past the store until you take these buzzers and go out.
It's like boot camp. Showing up for boot camp. They just shave everything off your face.
There you go.
What did you say, Missy? I'm sorry. You said something there.
Oh no, I just said I'm going to start naming everybody's mustache.
Ooh. Okay. Connor, if you had to give Simon's mustache a name.
Will's mustache or Simon's beard?
Okay, both. Go Will's mustache, then Simon's beard.
Will's mustache has to be wanker, right? Because that's his favorite word.
Right, fair enough. Right on. I like it.
Yeah, there you go. And I don't know about Simon. Simon just looks like a grizzled old gentleman.
It looks like he should have an axe in his hand, chopping down a tree.
Exactly.
Very
very lumberjacky. Oh yeah.
Maurice, the baguettes, right?
Well, thank you, Connor, for coming on the show. Hopefully, once we get the season going for real, we'll be able to have you back on. Maybe do something from the track.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Definitely. Thank you for coming on, Connor. Appreciate it.
Yep. See ya.
Thanks, Connor.
And I see that Missy's finally on the screen. You got your video feed taken care of.
Did I?
Connor's that was great for Connor to come on. That was a really good talk. That Connor's one of the most honestly he's one of the most honest drivers you could possibly ever talk to. Really, some drivers will just go kind of that PC route, and they'll just kind of you'll never get that out of them. And that's the one thing I've always noticed. So, Missy, what do you think?
Yeah, he's very honest with his opinions.
Yeah, definitely. And just want to thank Jared for setting that up. Jared, thank you for setting up with Connor. That was awesome.
Yeah, big thanks to Bree Rentz over there at Ed Carpenter Racing, and for getting all this set up. And big thanks to Connor for coming on the show.
Yeah, and dealing with our shenanigans, last minute crap. I don't always want to say it's me, but it's not exactly me. But what a day! One of those days.
I'm just glad Connor couldn't see my my background picture here of bad memories for him. Smithfield Baking car. The 2015 Indy 500, where his car caught fire on the parade lap, And the very first interaction I ever had with Conor Daly was him sitting outside his garage in the middle of the race with the most dejected, sad look on his face. And that was the first time I ever talked to Conor Daly.
So we all have a interesting first time ever talking to Conor Daly moment.
Watkins Glen underneath my big Victoria's Secret pink umbrella. It is a true story. I am not joking. That is the true story. We stood in the rain, all of us huddled under my umbrella for it was a good
15 minutes easily.
I think it was longer than that. I feel like it was like half hour. We stood in the rain.
It wasn't that long, no, because my GoPro would have died by then. Because I have the whole thing on GoPro. Even though as soon as it started, a big old fat rain drop hit the GoPro lens. So it's like blur, but you can pretty much tell it's Conor. And a very, very pink umbrella. And I think I was wearing that's when I was training my eyes for glasses. So I had glasses on. I looked like a lunatic with glasses on. Yeah. Oh well. Not saying anything bad about glasses, Jared and Missy. You know, I need them too. I'm just lazy. Yeah, I mean, I can't see far, but she's blind as a bat. She just refuses to wear them on camera.
I don't need them. I can see my computer screen.
So what the heck was wrong with your camera?
I don't know. I had to go into my
camera settings.
In my system preferences. I had to go under the security and privacy and give Skype access to it.
Apparently, that just recently changed.
That's got to be something new because that's not a Microsoft. Well, I mean, it's a Microsoft thing, but when you're on a MacBook, the cross-platform thing always screws me up. I don't use the MacBook anymore, though.
Well, I updated my computer last weekend because apparently I haven't updated it in quite some time because there was a bunch of probably because there was quite a few updates. So I updated it all, and
that's probably what it was. You had everything set up, you update it, and everything gets switched over again.
Yeah, and then somehow I wound up changing my password to get onto my computer, which I don't even know how I did that.
What's the passcode?
None of your business. Is what it is.
It's very original. So, Jared, did we have any questions for Conor? I'm like, I was trying to get to my phone, but every time I would get to my phone and go on the hot mic to see if there's anybody on there watching and asking questions and whatnot, and who's or what's it. Something. Let's see here.
He gets distracted very easily with bright lights, can you tell?
I just feel bad because the PR rep, or Bree, said he was available from 8 to 8:30, and we had him almost 15 minutes past that. So I'm sure he's getting on Call of Duty. He's probably already headshotting people left and right. I'm very jealous.
He's a shotter. I know. He
doesn't like sim racing.
No, so that's 5. Yeah, that's 5 drivers I know now that just are not a fan.
I mean, but, if I got to drive,
if my job was to drive the real thing,
a real car at 230 miles an hour, and then he said, "Oh, here's a computer, go do that," I would be disappointed too.
Right, but then there's the schmoes like us that when we do 90 in our Kias, we're like, yeah, we're flying now.
And a Kia could get up to 90.
Oh yes, it can, sir, very easily too. Right, Missy?
Yes, it can. I only got caught doing 80. All right.
Yeah, they cut you a break. I think you forgot that part.
No, I was doing 80.
I don't remember. I was asleep.
Yes, I know. I was doing 80.
I made that up. Yeah, but she did get a speeding ticket, though.
Yeah, 80 and a 70.
I never. Well,
Not to mention in the middle of traffic. It wasn't like I was by myself.
No, we had jersey tags on. That's why.
Yeah, I know. Bastards in Ohio.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's Ohio. Ohio is a terrible place.
Ohio.
I don't remember which race we were on our way to.
It's a blur.
I think it was either like Iowa. It was one of the ones further out than Ohio.
But with Ohio's doubleheader now, I mean Iowa's doubleheader now, it doesn't seem so bad.
It's still an 18-hour drive.
Especially it being what the first race of the season now.
Texas.
Texas.
Well,
although
I don't
all
think.
us here, I think we might be able to bring Connor back here. Oh, there he is. Let's see here. Hey, Connor, any final thoughts? Oh yes, I am. Yeah. So yeah.
That was a great impression. Yeah. Oh my God! I can't believe Connor just jumped back on to say nothing at all.
I tried. I tried. So.
I mean, I wonder if he knows Connor Weekly or something.
Oh yeah. Oh no. It's doing it again.
Yeah,
so there's one point of the broadcast where my computer takes a crap on me for about 10 seconds, and that was it.
When?
Just now.
Didn't notice.
I know you wouldn't notice, but I noticed.
Okay. So I do want to get some feedback. I mean, I have gotten feedback from listeners. They're liking the hot mic thing. But I want to get some feedback from you, Jared. How are you liking the hot mic thing? Other than me coming in at 3 minutes to 8 to do it.
I mean, it's been a learning curve for me. I've had to learn OBS, some software for broadcasting, and now I'm learning about After Effects so I can create little graphics for names and stuff, and just it's been a lot of learning, but it's been fun. It's cool to learn this technology. It's something that I'll definitely be able to bring to use at the track, race weekends. Being able to do maybe Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Hot Mic. We could do live broadcasts, live podcasts from the track. There's a lot of possibilities there, so I'm enjoying it. What about you, Missy?
I'm getting used to it. I think I have to curb. I'm a facial expression person, so I might have to curb my facial expressions a lot.
She's the most sarcastic person you ever meet.
In a nice way, though.
Yeah, you're adorable when you do it.
I'm more of a realist.
No one can tell you to go F yourself easier than Missy can without saying a word.
It's a gift. It's a gift. But I think I'm getting used to it. I just so.
Well, now that I've ironed out some of the technical things, it's a lot better.
Yeah. And I did hear from somebody saying that Missy and I sounded a lot lower than the guest and you, Jared, but I think that's an OBS setting. I don't know.
It kind of is. I have to mix all Skype audio through one source. So, but I'm hoping it was a lot better this week because that's why I did the audio check with us and Connor before we went live. I checked the meters and stuff to make sure you guys were coming in fine. And I think this week was better at trying to keep them leveled. But if not,
right,
all people got to do is tell me and I will do a better job.
Yeah, I mean, we're all down for, constructive criticism. Criticism. I don't care what you think negatively. But if you have something positive to add, no, I'm kidding. I'm not yelling at the listeners. There's nobody that's come at us, any sort of way. But they do like the new, like, dichotomy, just the new added, bonus of, pretty much checking out the show and how we record it, and everybody gets to see where Missy sits. That's the one thing I've gotten the most. So that's where Missy sits. Yeah, go. Come on, Jared.
Think about moving myself, somewhere else in the house.
Everybody watching. All right, enough of that. No, but what I need to do is I need to start getting onto the stream so I can see the chat. I mean, you can see the chat, right, Jared?
Yeah. If you were to sign up as a broadcaster on Hot Mic, I can designate you as a co-broadcaster. So when you log into your account there, you would see the same live page that I see with the chat and the video stream activity feed and stuff.
I see the chat.
Yeah, you can see the chat through the app. But I can also see it through my web browser, through the Hot Mic site, my control room.
Gregorio, what's up, buddy? Yeah, and that was thanks for reminding me that was something I wanted to talk to you about afterwards, because when I was going through it today, trying to post it up to let people know, I was like, Jared's name's there, or face is there. I need to. I was trying to. I don't know. It's going back and forth with it, but at any rate, but right on. I mean, I really hope. So do you think Texas do you think we're going to make a Texas date? Do you think Texas will be the first race of the season?
Every day I get more optimistic about it, because when I see more numbers come out, and it makes me believe it's not as bad as what we're being led to believe. That while it is bad, there are lots of people that are affected. I know people that are going through this, and it sucks. It really does suck for those involved, but it has been overblown in the media to a certain extent.
Shopper. Yeah.
But it is a very real thing that has affected many lives and continues to do so. But at some point, life will return to normal. And I hope it's sooner rather than later. Because I know for a fact my girlfriend is getting sick of not leaving my 700 square foot house, because she has to work from home, so she can't leave very much. And that sucks.
Or it could be you. That's probably the home.
I mean, the fact that I have to still go into the office every day is her saving grace, because she would kill me if we had to share this small house all day, every day.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like staying home. I'm essential.
I can't get that.
Yeah. If I wasn't essential, I'd be sitting at home playing iRacing a lot.
Yeah, and I'm all for the whole essential workers getting hazard pay. I'm for that movement. I doubt it'll happen, but yeah, I'm for that. I've heard that come out, and I want my stimulus check. Thank you.
My loan to myself showed up today. I was less than thrilled that I loaned myself $1,200.
So that's a stimulus check, you mean?
Yeah, it's not a stimulus. It's you loaning yourself money against your 2020 taxes.
Did you direct deposit?
Yeah. Any sane person direct deposits.
Well, I mean, I use a service, and whatever. I'm not going to go through my but I didn't direct
please,
deposit.
Frank, I would love to have can I have your social security number, your mother's maiden name, need your date of birth, location of birth. If you have a PIN number for your debit card, that would be great.
Missy and I were born in the same room 3 months apart. Isn't that strange?
Not at all.
In a hospital, not a actual room. You know what I meant. It wasn't a hotel room. Like, yeah, room 314 over Motel 6.
Motel 6.
Yeah, say so. Yeah. Someone passed Spanish. Good for you, buddy. I failed it. Well, no. Well, she said I would have failed it if she could have failed me. So, anyway.
Oh, you know, the IndyCar Harvest GP. How about that? October 3rd.
So is there not going to be an Indy 500 then, or will there? I mean, it obviously won't be in May, right?
It's in August.
Yeah.
Okay.
August 23rd, just shortly before Labor Day.
It's gonna be so ungodly hot there.
It's actually, strangely enough, the weekend after Gateway.
It's not called that anymore. Caught you.
I know, but it's such a long name. I can't remember it.
Wait. No, 500's before Gateway. Gateway, Bomberito, whatever they want to call it. It's the weekend before.
It's called the Circuit of Technology and stuff.
Yeah. Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. So Gateway is still in the name, so I can still call it Gateway. And Gateway is actually after Indy, because it's Mid-Ohio, then Indy 500 qualifying, and then the 500, and then Gateway. So all you people who have always been clamoring for an oval race after Indy, you got it.
Yay.
Faux real.
Yay.
I think that's a pretty good one, too.
Yeah, I mean, other than Iowa, it's one of my favorite short track type of ovals, to be honest with you. No matter where you look, there's action going on.
I mean, it's egg-shaped, so you get the drama of two different types of turns, so it definitely adds that different element to an oval track, just like Motegi.
I wonder why Conor hates it. What's Conor's?
Conor probably hates Iowa because it's so physically demanding. You get 8 seconds of rest. Wow.
Saying he's a weak man. He looks like a weak man.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I feel bad for these drivers that got to do the double header now at Iowa, because it's tough. Ask any driver what the most physically demanding oval is, and it's Iowa, because you get no rest.
Look, we've all been in the Vet or the Camaro on Iowa doing what top. Jared, what'd you ever top out at?
I don't remember how fast
It was like 140-ish.
Oh, that two-seater I did was pretty insane, which is why it gives me such.
Oh, you did the two-seater IndyCar?
I've done a two-seater in Iowa, and it is intense, because good luck moving your body. You're just pinned to the outside of the car the whole way around, which is why I believe Conor when he says that Iowa sucks is so physically demanding, because you don't get any rest. You get about 2, maybe 3 seconds of rest on each straightaway. That's it.
No, the front straightaways still got lateral G's that you can barely move.
And like I said, that is considered rest. So imagine doing that for hours. You'd be begging for someone to run into the wall and bring out a caution.
Yep. It makes you want to run home and beg mom for buttermilk. I don't know what that means.
No. If you won the Indy 500, Frank, would you be asking for buttermilk? Your mother's buttermilk?
Where did I get that? Oh, it was Bill Pullman on True Lies. That's where I got that from.
Oh, okay.
Remember that? when Schwarzenegger's driving the vet around?
No.
I mean, I would keep going with the quotes, but it gets a little bit graphic. So anyway, we have another co-host that hasn't watched hardly any movies.
No, I grew up.
You've never seen True Lies, honestly?
I think I've seen bits and pieces of it. I've never seen it from start to finish.
It's a great movie.
Sorry.
I'm gonna put up a quote. Should Jarrett watch True Lies this weekend? and I'm sure people will vote yes. I don't know why you would vote
I'm
no.
not a big movie person, but I've seen that movie.
Yeah, she's even got that up on you, dude. Sorry, Jared.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what makes me aggravated today, Jared. Since you were a little bit aggravated today,
What's that?
I got a text from someone else is aggravated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why though. I'll have to find out why. But boy, doesn't match mine. Anyway, so who do we got in the hot mic chat? Do we have like names? Like, does it say the names?
Yeah.
Does it just say a number?
No, it's got their name, the screen name or whatever.
Well, let's shout it out. Just shout out the first name and Greg.
Yes.
Is it? Well, I mean, it's the beginning of it, but
You think we're popular?
well, the last what was it? Last week we had 20. Was it 20 or 30 people on at one point? I saw.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up.
I don't know. I can't see numbers.
I was because I was on it today. It was like 30 something. So it was pretty good. Yeah.
Build and they will come.
Huh, Miss?
Greg, he said build and they will come.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We have to be here first and build it up before people know where to go. And I mean, hot mic it was new to me when Jared brought to my attention.
Very new. I had never heard of it until beginning of this year, right around late into the NFL season.
I mean, we can all be on YouTube if you want, and you can deal with that.
Is there? I mean, this will be uploaded to the new Indy SportsCar podcast YouTube page tomorrow.
You see that segue? That's chemistry. Nice. That's right. And it will also, and then the podcast, the actual podcast of this will be found everywhere. And you can find podcasts. Where can they find all that at, Missy?
That would be www.theindysportscarpodcast.com.
Right on. And it's real easy to remember. And go sub to the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to watch the hot mic, our hot mic live recording. But we'll still interact with you. We always do. We're very easy to get a hold of.
Yeah, I mean,
we love to fans and fans. I hate saying fans. I just like saying listeners because I don't know. It's weird saying people are a fan of me. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I'm a fan of her, and everybody's a fan of Missy.
Who isn't a fan of me?
But people are listeners of us. Fans of her, listeners of us. Don't worry, Jared.
Well,
I mean,
there will be another IndyCar iRacing race this Saturday, NBC Sports 2:30. The track has not been revealed yet. They'll probably not reveal that till I guess either tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday or something. They're trying to keep it a secret so drivers don't get too much time to prepare, but they say it's a random draw. They haven't quite listed the names of the tracks that are in the random draw, but we'll see what it is.
Where do you want to see him race?
Well,
there
see,
you go.
that's the thing. Is this a random draw of tracks that are already on the IndyCar schedule, or is it just of everything in iRacing? Because in a couple weeks, the final race is the Dream race, like Dream non-IndyCar race that they're gonna do. So I don't know if they're gonna throw in to this week the random draw tracks that aren't on the schedule. So if you had to go tracks that are on the schedule, I'm gonna say Belle Isle, just because of the carnage.
It's gone.
And yes, they need a Belle Isle because I almost drove to MIS for my hot mic broadcast. I found a better option that allowed me to stay home and still broadcast from MIS, but I kid you not, I would literally drive to Belle Isle, sneak onto the island with my laptop, and find a way to hot mic from Belle Isle if they did it. I go jail because they're very restrictive in this state.
It's like that. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty restrictive in Michigan.
I mean, I can't believe we're already at an hour 15. That show flew by. I mean, talking to Connor flew by. How long do we have Connor on for?
About 40, 45 minutes.
That flew by. Like, I was almost struggling to come up with something to talk to him about, thinking he hasn't been on long enough.
I could tell it was getting up there. Oh,
yeah,
Kyle
yeah.
Busch will be at the race this Saturday. Ooh, I mean, they couldn't get Kyle Larson. I heard he's become available recently.
Yeah, I heard he became a racist too.
Yeah, NASCAR just can't get out of their own way. It's 2 weeks in a row they've had controversy surrounding their race.
Yeah, Bubba Wallace, rage quit. It's a big deal. Oh wait, it is because, the blue emu car, which I don't know what that means, but it's like blue emu. Yep, they do exist. Is their motto?
You can't say it's not real when people are losing real life sponsors over it.
Exactly, it's just crazy. But look, we've all rage quit before. I have. We all have.
We all have, but not all of us are getting paid money to do that. You don't rage quit something you're getting paid to do.
If anything, you shouldn't rage quit something you're paying to do, which is what we
like
do.
To thank Gregorio here for pointing out the Patrice O'Neill reference you made.
He caught it right on. Nice. Nice.
Yep.
Well, all right. So, Jared, plugs.
Well, first and foremost, you'll see me back here on Hot Mic Saturday for the IndyCar iRacing. We'll be sitting here chilling out, talking about the race. Probably call some people wankers. I'm going to see if I can hack into some audio chat from the teams. We'll see what I can do.
Wanker stash.
Yep. So
doesn't have a ring to it.
So Willie Wankerstash and Simon.
Oh, hold on. I did actually find a picture. I'm going to see what I can do here. It's going to suck for a brief second here, but I found a picture of Simon, and it is not that.
My goodness, he looks like James Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it looks like me, but yeah, that's a hinge.
It's too handsome.
It's a hinge level beard right there. Yep.
It really is. I didn't know Simon Pagenaud was a redhead.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I mean, it's that ginger beard. You never really know until you grow it. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You would never know. Will would have fit right into the 7. Never mind. I'm not going to finish that statement.
Oh, man.
But that stash is just...
He should not be allowed within 500 feet of a school.
And on that note, Miss.
And on that note, you know that I know that Frank, well, it's Frank. Jared, he's coming along. We're training him pretty well. I'll give him some props. And, of course, Connor knows,
Yes, big thanks to Connor and the whole team there for coming on the show. And we're definitely looking forward to having him back on once the season gets started for real. Faux real.
Definitely. Love me some Conor Daly. Thank you, Conor Daly, once again for coming on. Right, Missy?
Absolutely.
Hey, let's everybody say on 3, thanks. 1, 2, 3. Thanks!